Hello and welcome to the pre-match show of the second T20I between India and South Africa. And it's an auspicious day to all our viewers, wishing you a very happy Puja and Maha Shubha Shoptami, and to welcome my panelists for tonight's show as well, Joydeep Mukherjee and Nishanjit Arora, wishing you happy pujas. Thank you so much for joining. And the preparation for the upcoming T20 World Cup is intensifying, and with teams already looking forward to the mega event, every game henceforth is a chance to remain match fit. It provides an opportunity for out of form players to regain touch, recovering players to get some match time, and teams to work out their final plans. And before we get an update on the toss, if I can request Joydeep Mukherjee to talk to us about, okay, we have an update on the toss. Let's take a look at what's happening. Rohit Sharma has the coin. He flips it.
South Africa have won the toss.
South Africa have won the toss, and South Africa will be bowling first. So, Joyda, what do you make of this decision by Themba Bavuma in the second T20I?
It's an easy one. Everybody who wins the toss is fielding. And I just hope it's not win the toss, win the game. That has been the trend of late. And Nishant spoke about it the other day. That's what you don't want to see. What I want to see is no unfair advantage for the bowlers first up. What I don't want to see is the wicket changing in both the games. For me, in T20 cricket, the toss should be inconsequential. Everything should be at par through 40 overs. In multi-days cricket, in 5-day cricket, in 4-day cricket, I've got no problem with it. You can keep it as green as whatever you want, moisture, whatever, because you have a chance to make a comeback. But in 20-over cricket, you just don't have a chance to make a comeback. Even in a 50-over game against good teams, they will not really come back. If you are 10 overs, 33, you will not be able to get to 360, 350, 340, which is par now. So the first 10 overs is eating your whole inning up. And no matter how well you bat at the back end, you cannot make up for that deficit over there. So for me, all I'm hoping is, I haven't had a look at the wicket. All I'm hoping is not just this game. South Africa has lost some tosses also. Even before this, Rohit has been lucky with tosses. I don't think it should be a toss match win game. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Nishant, you always harp upon that T20 matches. Captains would rather prefer chasing. So has this now, according to you, become a trend that whenever it's a T20, captains would, no matter whatever the pitch is, they would always, if they are winning the toss, they would prefer to opting to bowl first, because it's comparatively, it will give them an idea, okay, what the target is, and then they can accordingly chase it down, maybe?
Yes, first and foremost, happy Pujo to all of you celebrating, and happy Navratri, where Joyda is. I'm sure once he finishes the show, he will grab his dandiya sticks and go to shake a bit.
Can't wait. There they are. Can't wait. There they are.
So, coming to your question, I think, Damni, it has become a very, very logical trend now, because if you look at the evolution of 2020 cricket, you will realize that the shorter the format, the teams batting second are far more comfortable in chasing down the totals, because I personally feel that when you are batting first, the kind of total you want to put up in front of your opposition is like a moving goalpost. You start the day thinking, oh, it's a good wicket, we should get 180. Then you're 30 for 2 and suddenly realize, oh, this wicket is not that good, so we need to get at 150. But by that time, the entire approach is changed. So entire game's situation has changed. So in that situation, most of the teams are comfortable ki yaar pehle bata do kitne banane hain, and then we will go accordingly. So I think it has become a trend, and you will see more captains opting for that. And I'm sure at some stage, teams batting first will also find a way to get out of this. It always happens ना कि एक ट्रेंड बन जाता है, फिर दूसरी टीमें उसको थिंक करती हैं अच्छा यार, how to break this trend now, and then suddenly you will get to know, एक ऐसी खबर बनेगी कि अरे this team has not lost a single match batting first, so what are they doing now, and then people will start following that, and then that will become a trend. So that's how the game evolves. फैशन की तरह होता है ना, एक आ गया फिर थोड़े दिन रहता है फिर दूसरा आ जाता है, so it's like that.
मैं तो निशान जी थोड़ा
Okay.
जो फैशन फॉलो कर जो पहनता है मैं वही फॉलो करता हूँ बट ही मेक्स अ ग्रेट पॉइंट सी यू गोट टू रिमेंबर वन थिंग दैट you win the toss, moving goalpost, everything, I agree. But it's only when the conditions are the same. That's when the target matters. Now, what if teams want to bat first because second of the wicket crumbles? That should not
Hmm.
happen for me because that's an unfair advantage. I'm saying batting first, there could be wickets. The pitch is turning in the second half. It could be in the first half, is jagging around too much, is too much of moisture. So that means you're giving unfair advantage to any one person. For me, it should be a flat cement wicket for for 40 overs. Now, if it's green, like Nishan likes it, a contest between ball and bat, I like it too. It should be constant for 40 overs. If it's got some juice in it, it should stay for 40 overs. So that nobody gets an advantage of winning the toss. The toss should be just a mere formality, which is not in multi-days cricket. I am in Rajkot. There's Irani Cup going on. Rest of India won a very important toss and bowled out Saurashtra for 98. 98. By lunch, the Ranji Trophy champions were all out. In 2.5 hours, 10 wickets fell. That is
But
what toss does to you. But now they're coming back. There's a second innings. They're fighting back. In white ball cricket, there is no second innings. There is no fight back. So you can't take that away from them.
and most of the times I
Absolutely.
think what has been happening is, okay, the natural conditions will change, like Hobart will have always have wind, England will always have some seam in the air, but more often than not you will see the 2020 wickets across the world more or less remain the same because it's a cricket of 40 overs. The longer the format, the chances of wicket changing are more because a first day wicket in a test match will be completely different from the fifth day wicket in the same match. So the team winning the toss has to think a lot about, okay, आज तो हम टॉस जीत के बैटिंग कर रहे हैं पर पांचवें दिन हमको बैट इसी विकेट पे लास्ट पे बैट मतलब बॉलिंग करना पड़ेगा, सो यू हैव टू थिंक लाइक वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम. बट इन 2020 आई थिंक बिकॉज इट्स अ शॉर्टर फॉर्मेट, 3 घंटे में रिजल्ट आ जाना है, तो टीम्स प्रेफर यार कि अच्छा जो स्कोर है बताओ करके छुट्टी करेंगे. सो आई थिंक दैट हैज बिकम अ ट्रेंड नाउ and teams are evolving their strategies around that only.
Okay, and we have the playing 11s of both the teams. Let's take a look at them. First, with South Africa, they winning the toss go with their playing 11 as follows: Quinton de Kock, wicketkeeper; Themba Bavuma, captain; Riley Russo; Aiden Markram; David Miller; Tristan Stubbs; Wayne Parnell; Keshav Maharaj; Kagiso Rabada; Enric Nortje; and one change, Lungi and Gidi comes in for Tabriz Shamsi. That's the only change for South Africa. And Team India, well, they go unchanged. KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, wicketkeeper, Dinesh Karthik, Akshar Patel, Harshal Patel, Ravichandran Ashwin, Deepak Chahar, and Arshdeep Singh. Joyada, your thoughts on the playing 11s? India going unchanged and South Africa making one change.
Yeah, I think it's understandable. You're looking for consistency at this point in time. You're looking to back your players. If you change the team every other day, then just before the big tournament, everybody feels a little out of place, feels a little insecure. So, having said that, if you're in form, out of form, unless you're injured, I don't see any changes unless it's a tactical change. Okay, there are five left-handers, you get an off spinner in. It's a green wicket, you're playing an extra spinner. It's a dry wicket, you're playing an extra a spinner. If it's a green top, you're playing an extra seamer. So those are tactical changes. But since there have been no changes in the conditions of the opposition, there is no reason for you to change. And Arun Lal, my mentor, somebody I've looked up to, always says his favorite word is "Don't fix it if it ain't broken."
That's a good statement. And well, let's get into some very technical discussions. Nishant, I'll come to you. In fact, I need both of you gentlemen to talk about this very raging topic, which had, cricket fans, cricket experts, pundits doing a lot of talking, selection committees, especially from India, having to do a lot of thinking about the squad, and that is the, you know, what Jasprit Bumrah is going through. Just Jasprit Bumrah, not his health or his injury update, anything. Just Jasprit Bumrah, whether his availability in the team is fixed or not, or whether he is keeping well or not. So first Nishant and then Joyda. How much is just Jasprit Bumrah's traveling with the team for the upcoming World Cup? What would it mean for Team India? Just for him to be present there with the squad.
Massive. As we all know, he has been the leader of this bowling attack, and you know, team will give, and rightly so. Team would, you know, do all what they can do to make sure that he gets a chance to play, and the kind of injury management or whatever workload management he needs around his fitness will be given in that environment to make sure that he's match ready anytime, whenever India needs. So uh, uh, there is still almost like 20 days for the tournament to start for India, almost 20 days. And then even if he doesn't play the first 2 3 games, that means that they haven't 1 month. And if his injury can recover on time, he will be ready for India. And we know with Jasprit Bumrah, as we saw, that even after coming from a long injury layoff, he didn't look off color. He has so much experience that he need too much time to get into groove. That's what at least I feel. So I think having him around is a very good decision, and this will not only uh, you know it will also keep opposition thinking that at some stage he will play, and they will also plan accordingly. But at the same time, for the youngsters like Deepak Chahar or Arshdeep Singh, to have someone like him around will also help their cricket. Like Jasprit Bumrah was helped immensely by Lasith Malinga. So you always need someone like that around you.
Okay, now before Joyda begins, Nishant, can I just request you to adjust your camera angle a bit, because every time, we just see half of your face.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
that's
it better
better.
now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's better.
All
Now,
right.
Joyda.
It looks like that we don't want to hide your face. So yeah, I agree with Nishant wholeheartedly. He's a big player. He's the daddy player. He's one of the pillars of Indian cricket. You would always want him in any capacity. He can, the oodles of experience that he has. Yes, there is a bowling coach, Paris Mambe, but bowling coach has not bowled to the best in the world. Jasprit Bumrah has. So he will have some inner inputs more than Paris Mamre can. What does Quinton de Kock do under pressure? What does he do when he needs 10 and over? What does he do when he needs 20 and over? Where is Smith comfortable? What is his go-to shot? Does he go for the lap? If he goes for the lap, where does the ball go? So there are loads. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But the point I'm trying to make here is the fact that, firstly, nobody's saying he's out of the World Cup. That's the best thing. Okay? Nobody is. Everybody's given a statement that, we try to get him fixed. That's one. Nishant said it's a long way. It's a long tournament. I mean, it's not a 1 week tournament. So there is a lot to it. So it could be that his rehab has started and he goes, it doesn't be the first game, and by the third game, he's ready. Even if he misses 1 or 2 games, and I know what game one is, but you got to look at the bigger picture. And you got to see him see through the tournament. So if you look at that, unless he's ruler of the tournament, you'll go with him. And this similar thing happened in the last World Cup in Australia, 2 World Cups back in Australia, when Shami was injured. He was taking an injection every day in his knee before the game. I was in touch with him, and he was saying because he was a big player in the one-day cricket then, and they needed him then to play every game. And he was taking injections before every game, cortisone shots just to play. So because it's the World, if it was any other tournament, he wouldn't have played. But because it's the World Cup and this is what you aim to win, this is what you've beefed yourself up for, now, even if you're in one leg, you try and go and play. And that's what it is. If his skill set is fine, if he can go through those matches, those overs, he will play. If it was any other tournament, you don't take a chance with somebody like Jasprit Bumrah. But here, it's the final call. And next World Cup is next year, a year away. He cannot play for a year and fix, but you will give yourself every chance to get him on the park.
Absolutely. And Joyda, as you raised the topic of Mohammad Shami and you being in touch, so, let me come to you on a personal note. You being a very great cricket pundit, especially, and being so locally connected with domestic cricket in in Bengal. As we all know, we are very well aware that the ODI squad against South Africa for Team India has been declared, and three inclusions into the team have really intrigued followers, and that is the inclusion of Rachat Patidar and two players from Bengal, Mukesh Kumar and Shahbaz Ahmed. So, if you could just tell us, the inclusion, the opportunity that these domestic cricketers are finally getting. They finally will get to don the blue colors. How important and how big an opportunity is this for these talents?
Yeah. No, Shabas was already in the Indian team, and he's done superbly for Bengal. He was already there. He's in the team now, as we speak. He's in the Indian dugout.
Yes,
So
he
it's
is.
that's not a surprise that he's there, because he came in because of certain injuries, and now that he's come, obviously he'll be in the one day series, and the T20 specialists, a lot of them who are going to the World Cup are not playing the one day series. They are playing a different mode of cricket, which is the T20. So Shabazz being there is kind of just normal, because he's already with the Indian team. Rajat Patidar is a fabulous player. I've seen him for about 4 or 5 years now, plays for MP, and I've always been very, very impressed by him. I knew it was only a matter of time before he plays for India. Not just the amount of runs he scores, but the way he scores his runs. And sometimes that's what the selectors look at. Otherwise, you could have an accounts person pick the team. Highest run getter opens, second highest run getter plays two, a third highest run getter plays three. It's not like that. Selectors, cricketers look for certain things. And why do they have reputed cricketers as selectors? Because they see something that probably the normal person doesn't see. You look for things which you would not find in somebody else. And Rajat Patidar, I've never seen him struggle, even on tough wickets. I've never seen him look ugly. I've never seen him look out of place. That's how good he is. But then again, there was a development time that was given to him. Just because you're brilliant doesn't mean that you play the next day. Just like that lovely piece of mutton that you bought from the fridge, from the market, it's not ready to eat. There is a development period to it. There's a marination and cooking and everything. That's what happened with Rajat Patidar. Now coming to Mukesh, I have been very close to Mukesh, right, because he's from Bengal, and he joined Vision 2020. Initially, didn't make the team, didn't make the trials, stood around. Long story short, he's a fabulous bowler. His record in first class cricket is phenomenal. 31 matches, 120, 10 odd wickets, 21 average. I've seen him get 15 India players out in the last 3 4 years. You name it, he gets. And I'm glad he's got his due, because he's no spring chicken. He's about 27, 28. So if he doesn't play now, he could miss the bus. Some people who are 22, 23 have a 10-year period that they can play. But somebody who's 27, 28 as a fast bowler probably has the next 3 4 years, and then sort of his downfall starts. Unless you're in the Indian team, you're training with them, and then you're at par with them. Like you're with Bumrah, you're with Bhuvi, you're there. But once you're a domestic player, then at 34, 35, you can be on the bane. So I am really happy. It's a happy day. Not because he's there, but because three players, including Shabazz, you look at the domestic performance in the last 2 years, you will know why they're there. And everybody who wants to play for India, this is the way. I know there's another Safraz who's also doing the same. It's just a matter of time. If he's there, I haven't seen the team, so I don't know if he's there. But you just keep scoring runs, taking wickets, scoring runs, taking wickets, day in and day out. It's like going to office. Everything else takes care of itself.
Absolutely, it does. And Nishant, I'll come to you with my next question, and that is, you know, uh, with this last moment, huge discussion about Jasprit Bumrah making so much of news. Uh, just tell us, do India have a fixed squad? Now, the fixed squad, of course. Now you would say, how would I know? That will only depend on before every match which team is winning the toss, and then we'll get to know the playing 11. But I'm just asking you, as a squad, because let's come to being practical. Team India are yet to make it quite effective in big tournaments. Since the last T20 World Cup, they couldn't make it in, and also the Asia Cup that just happened, they couldn't unfortunately make it big. So, how would you see, a fixed, or if not a fixed, but some players who should be, according to you, regulars of the playing 11 in Team India, and some players who should be frequently, maybe experimented with in the upcoming World Cup in Australia?
I think, Damni, in modern day cricket, it's very difficult to, have certainties. Like, for example, the way entire Jasprit Bumrah's workload would have been managed this year would have been managed in keeping in mind that he would be at its best when we are going to the World Cup. And look at Hardik Pandya right now. Like Hardik Pandya is not playing this South Africa series because they want to manage his workload. We don't know the kind of, how many matches he can play, how much his body can take. That's entirely the physio and the medical team of the BCCI knows. But tomorrow, and why all this is done to keep in, that you have your best players available mentally and physically for the most important tournament. But what if we tomorrow go in a match and all these players who we think are our best players and they are there for a reason, and suddenly on the morning of the match while doing a fielding practice you break your finger? You can't do anything about it. It's a sport where everyone is throwing their bodies on the line, or while fielding at the boundary, you tip over the ball and you twist your ankle. Those things will happen because these are the part and parcel of the sport. It's like nature of the job you do. Like a writer will always say my neck is straining because most of the time they spend on the laptop. So it's like that. But I think uh, most of the teams will be preparing, keeping in mind that these are our players. This is our nucleus. Like this is our core, and they will build their team around. And teams, modern teams also, like in India's case, you look at it, that Ravindra Jadeja got injured, they had immediate replacement of Akshar Patel. Whether that replacement comes good or not is a second story, but at least they had a replacement. Obviously, if someone like Bumrah is not there, it's a big miss. You cannot replace Bumrah's 8 years experience. But what you can do
And
is,
class and quality. And
yeah,
class and quality. The product
but
that he delivers.
yeah. But having said that, I always say that in cricket, one man's injury is another man's opportunity. How did Bumrah got his first chance? It was 2015 in Australia. I don't remember the name of the bowler who got injured. I don't remember the name, but someone got injured because I was with the team at that time, and Bumrah was specially called in, like he was a replacement for someone. And suddenly India
Nishant,
saw,
you were there
wow,
in the World Cup in Australia?
not the 2015 one. I was there for the
Okay.
2020 World Cup. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm talking about 2015. In the end, we had a one day and a 2022 just before the 2020 World Cup
The
in India.
reason I asked is because those Shami, those shots he was taking before every game, just to be able
Yeah,
to
yeah,
play
that's
that
true.
game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Just to play that game. And then again 3 days later another one and that game. So it's World Cup. You
yeah.
you do anything because this is what you save the guy for.
The best spell we have seen in a World Cup is by Ashish Nehra in 2003 World Cup against England, where he took 6 for 19 at Durban. Everyone remembers that spell, but not many people know the kind of pain he had to go through to play that match. His ankle was completely ruptured, and they had to tape it every day to make sure that he's match ready. And when they used to remove tapes, the screams could be heard इन द ड्रेस, लाइक ड्रेसिंग रूम जो था वो प्रेस बॉक्स के थोड़ा पास में था, तो जब उसकी टेपिंग होती थी ना तो आशीष नेहरा की चीखने की आवाजें हमारे तक आ जाती थी. He was in that much pain, but despite all that pain he played that World Cup, won games for India and bowled the most memorable spell. So the, we may see Bumrah suddenly in action in Australia, and that's what we are hoping for, and that's how it should be.
There's a very able medical team that's working on Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah.
Just not the physios. There are some people beyond that, some very qualified doctors. So if they can get him onto the park, they will. If they can't, they can't. It is what it is. But they are doing
Dam,
everything they can.
yeah. And Damni, I will just say one thing.
Yeah,
The
please.
approach for this always is that control the controllables. Like as a team management or as a medical team, what you can do is you can give the best possible advices to your players in terms of what they eat, when they sleep, their rest, their fitness, every aspect of their game, which is helping them to be fitter and mentally and physically ready to play the game at the highest level. But then few things are beyond your control, like
Yeah.
you know stress fracture. What can you do about it? You don't even know when it will happen, because I have recently gone through a stress fracture. So it is first time I have a stress fracture. I had a stress fracture on my rib because I was playing extra golf. I didn't even know that. So these things happen. It's freakish also. You can only control the controllables. But now that I know that I am like prone to this kind of thing, now I am, I do my proper rehab. I do my proper stretching before playing. After playing, I do that. So I'm sure, just imagine I'm just like a new golfer in the park like many others, but look at that level where the international cricketers are and the kind of support they have, so they
And
control the
this,
control.
yeah, this stress fracture is very common with sportsmen because it's a repetitive injury. When
Yeah,
you do the same thing over and over again, then the back can't take it anymore. So the Bumrah Mountie is bold. So if you say a Rory McIlroy or a Tiger swings 400, he hits 400 balls a day. So his back is taking the pounding 400 times a day, which your back and my back are not. So with 400 every day, with the back, at one point, the back says, I'm packing up. That is what stress fracture is. So this is because of bowling. This is not because Bumrah is eating a lot of burgers or anything or pizzas or something. It is a work related injury for him. So it's what he has done for. He's as good as he is because he bowls. Now because he's bowled a lot, this has also come. So
yeah,
this
because
is a
it just,
work. This is a work related issue. So it's like saying if I work too hard, I'll zonk out. So I'm working so hard in office, my boss tells me, no, you need to go home, take rest, take the weekend off. It's like that. Now the body is asking for some time off because the back can't take it anymore.
so in to put it in complete layman's term, the term in itself is stress fracture. What is stress? When you are overusing a certain muscle for a certain purpose for in a very short time, like the kind of most of the sportsmen have injuries issues. Why? Because they are asking their body to do out of normal stuff. Like मैं और आप तो जाके बाउंड्री पे रोज स्लाइड्स नहीं मारते ना बॉल पकड़ने के लिए. वो लोग तो प्रैक्टिस में 25-25 30-30 मारते हैं. वो स्लाइड मारते हुए आपका हैमस्ट्रिंग खिंच जाए तो आप क्या कर सकते हो? आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते उसका. सो इट्स लाइक अगर आप पेंसिल यूज करोगे तो घिसेगी भी ना. अब दिन में एक लाइन लिखोगे तो वो चलती रहेगी. अब दिन में अगर 5-5 पन्ने लिखोगे तो फिर शार्पनर लेके थोड़ा उसको तैयार करना पड़ता है.
Okay, so with these thoughts, let's, as we approach the commencement of the second T20I, let's have, as a tradition, matchups, and you're playing a player of the match. First Joyda, then Nishant.
No, let Nishan go first.
थैंक यू दादा. ऑलवेज शी गिव्स इट टू यू एंड देन आई एम लाइक अरे दादा ने तो वो प्लेयर ले लिया, अब मैं क्या करूं. ओके, थैंक यू दादा. थैंक यू. आई थिंक यू, बिकॉज इट्स पूजा and you are in very generous mood.
No, from now on, every game you first.
Okay, I think till Diwali, then we will change.
Achha, theek hai.
Okay.
Chalo.
Okay, so my player of the day would be Virat Kohli, because I think he's that kind of player. When he has the momentum, you will not see many quiet matches for him, and that's a good thing for India. I think it will be Virat Kohli, and also I have a feeling that Harshal Patel will do well. I have this feeling. He's a very
So,
very
so
thinking.
whom are
He's
you
a
picking as your playing player of the match?
Virat Kohli and Harshal Patel.
Two.
Can I pick two? Yeah. Batting, bowling, two different departments. No conflict of interest there.
Okay, and Joyda.
Yeah, batting bowling, if I can also pick, I have to follow Nishan. So I'll pick Surya and Aksar.
Why am I even asking you from the batting? Batting
Yeah,
is
just
fixed. You should
Aksar.
have
Yeah,
just.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
If
yeah,
Hardik
just
is not
Aksar.
there, then if it's Hardik is there, don't ask me from now on. If Surya
That's
and Hardik are in the team, don't ask me. Actually, it's the reason.
okay. Okay. So, with these thoughts, we come to the end of the pre match show of the second T20I between India and South Africa. India are leading this series for the timing, but it's only a matter of time when, after tonight's game, we get to know who comes out as the winner. And to all my viewers, you were hearing my panelists, Jaideep Mukherjee and Nishant Jeet Arora. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. Enjoy a good game of cricket, and it's the Puja season. So, once again, wishing all our viewers and to both of you happy puja. Enjoy your puja and Navratri with your family and your loved ones. And let's meet in the post match show tonight. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Damini. I'm sure you're not going out and watching the game.
I beg your pardon?
I'm sure you're not going out on Shoptumi evening and watching the game for the next 3 hours.
She's using her Hotstar subscription. She will keep
Uh,
watching the match on phone and keep visiting from one pandal to another. She's
and
young
we can
girl.
ask her, and we will ask her the question. So, what happened in the 12th over
Go ahead.
to Surya?
Sorry,
And
sorry, Dada. I was at Behala Pandal at that time.
at that
Let's
time,
see. Let's see for
I
that.
was
Come on.
actually I was having Rasgulla at that time.
Huh.
Golgappais.
Acha.
Anyway,
ठीक है.
have a good
Gup
time. Thanks.
chups,
Enjoy the game.
gup
Yes.
chups. Okay,
Bye.
bye bye.